If you've ever visited Japan, or if you're a matcha lover, you're just going to love these Meiji copycat matcha-filled chocolates. With a dairy-free and vegan option, I hope everyone will love them. So let's go ahead and make them together. I have been absolutely in love with matcha tea ever since I first visited Japan in 2005. In order to make these chocolates taste like the Meiji ones, I recommend using a great quality matcha, like this one here from NIO TEAS, who have now offered us 15% discount with the code turmeric15. Check out the link in the description below. The process for making these chocolates is very easy. First, just boil some water and place your milk chocolate in a bowl that's not touching the boiling water, and allow it to melt. If you're vegan or dairy-free, check out my link here to make your own homemade milk chocolate. Next, you're going to pour the melted milk chocolate into your silicone molds. You can also use polycarbonate molds, and they're quite simple to use. You can use any shape. All you're basically doing is just lining that mold with the chocolate. So I like to just tip it sideways and upside down and try to get it to fill all of the space. Then I like to use my bench scraper, but you can also use any flat baking knife to wipe off the top of the mold. Then if there are any spots that you notice that are missing chocolate, simply dip a small spatula into your milk chocolate and fill in those gaps. Then to help the chocolate settle into the molds, just tap it on the countertop a few times. Then place it into the refrigerator to chill until it sets. I like to place a piece of parchment paper under my work surface, and this way it's super simple to clean up. Just collect all that melted chocolate and place it back in the bowl over top of your double boiler. To make the matcha ganache, we're going to take some heavy cream, or you can also use any vegan alternative that's a nice thick cream like a coconut cream. We're going to heat it up slightly before sifting our matcha green tea powder into the mixture slowly. To prevent it from getting too hot, I recommend removing it from the heat at this point. We want to make sure to sift it so that there are no clumps of matcha in our chocolate. I also highly recommend using a bamboo whisk to whisk the matcha into the cream. And you do this by doing quick zigzag motions, not in a circle, and it will mix it in perfectly, in the exact same manner you would if you were making a matcha tea. Next, melt the white chocolate in the exact same way we melted the milk chocolate. To make my dairy-free vegan option, check out my video here. Next, we're going to add our matcha cream and slowly drizzle it over the melted white chocolate and whisk them together. You want to make sure that your double boiler is still nice and warm and that your bowl is not touching the water. You want to make sure that the matcha does not exceed 160 degrees Fahrenheit or 70 degrees Celsius. I don't use a thermometer to check this. I just feel with my hands and make sure it's not getting too hot, and that works just fine. Once it's all incorporated, give it a taste and see how you like it. If you'd like it more of a strong matcha flavor, you can add up to another 1.5 teaspoons of matcha to the mixture. To add a little richness, I add some unsalted butter. And for the vegan version, you can add a little bit more cacao butter or even vegan butter. Once this is all incorporated, give it another taste. And if you decide that you would like a little bit more sweetness, you can add some powdered sugar. I use my homemade powdered sugar as I don't like any additives, and actually icing sugar or powdered sugar, also known as confectioner sugar, contains cornstarch, which I don't consume. Next, remove your set chocolate from the refrigerator and add your matcha ganache. Make sure not to overfill and to leave a little bit of a gap at the top where you're going to put more melted chocolate. Not to worry if you do overfill it by accident, just remove it and you can use your bench scraper to clean off the surface. Then just place them back in the refrigerator until the ganache sets in about 30 minutes. You can also make this matcha ganache ahead of time and place it into the refrigerator and then scoop it into the mold. Just make sure that when you place it into your glass bowl that you cover it with plastic wrap that's actually touching the ganache so it doesn't dry out. The last step is to pour our melted chocolate onto those set matcha ganache chocolates. So just fill in those little gaps that you left, and then you're going to just use either a spatula or your bench scraper to clean them off, making sure that chocolate's in all of the gaps. If you fill with chocolate, immediately after removing it from the refrigerator, it will start to harden almost immediately, so you need to work quickly. I wasn't too worried about a little extra chocolate, as I love those little sprinkles that end up coming off. Once your chocolate has completely set after about 1 to 2 hours, then just gently pop them out of the mold, and you'll enjoy some absolutely amazingly delicious matcha milk chocolate. Make sure to refrigerate your chocolates or place them in the freezer for a longer life. They also make incredibly delicious gifts. Just wrap a few chocolates up in some baking paper, give it a tie with some hemp, and you have a beautiful homemade gift. Try making this matcha milk chocolate in the shape of a chocolate bar or any other shape of silicone or polycarbonate mold that you'd like. And if you'd like to make pure matcha chocolate, check out my recipe on my website, TamaracanCrazy.com, where you'll find all sorts of free recipes. Please like and subscribe to my channel to find out when my next videos come out.